Hey guys, what's up? Infinite Cars here, back for another team builder. This time we're doing it for the SDL Premier League, the first week. Finally got word back from my opponent, so we're battling tomorrow. I'm going to go ahead and get the team builder out to y'all today. First thing to go through is going to get to move this over here, because this is going to be what we're drawing from. It would be best if I opened up the sheet. Yeah, as you can tell, I'm not really prepared because so much time elapsed between when I should have had word back and when I actually got word back. So, here we go. So, based on his team, he's already got Sun, so we could probably abuse his Sun from the Raging Bolt, Roaring Moon, Torkoal. So we don't have to bring Ninetales. We can bring everything but. And heck, we could even run Executor and be bulky and do something. I had this as like a Trick Room potential set with webs. So I've got ideas for this team. We got Rocks, First Impression, really fast. Hold on. Okay, well, I thought I had a sneeze coming and then it didn't go. So, it'll probably show back up in a second. We also have Tornadoes who we can use to shut down the Sun with Rain Dance. So, that could be something to do. We can also abuse Sun with like a Choice Scarf Cinderace with what's it called? Pyro Ball. So, I'm gonna pause, finish theory crafting, and then I'll come back to y'all. Alrighty, general theory crafting has been completed. With Tapu Koko, I've set up like a defensive-ish special attacking, but also showing off the ability that it can go physical with acrobatics and wild charge with that electric seed. Of course, we can also run fully special, fully physical. So that one's able to be encompassing of many things. So that is just displaying the ideas that it can portray. This one can be set up, it can be webs, it can be both simultaneously. So that's what we're running. Focus Sash most weeks gonna be the option. If we need to run Choice Scarf, we can, but very rarely will we do that. Then Pecharunt, one of our Terra captains. Most times we'll probably run Terra Dark, just because of its immunity to Psychic, one of our weaknesses, resistance to Ghost and Dark, the other two weaknesses. So, makes no sense to do that. Of course, we don't resist ground, which isn't great, but we take what we can get, right? So, with that, then we're most times going to run a set similar to this, kind of bulky setup behind Substitute, and just discombobulate with Malignant Chain and hit with Shadow Ball where we can, where Nasty Plot sets up, and we're just bulky as flip. Cinderace is going to be the mess Pokemon, because it is kind of the centralizing figure around which most of the ideas run. It is the crossroads, if you will. Let me go back over to this screen, because we have Webs, we have Court Change, we have Defiant, we have Trick Room, and we have Competitive. I don't have Competitive on here right now, but, so, and then we also have Sun with Slitherwing. So, we can run a lot of things with Cinderace, and most weeks it will be on the team. So, we already have Cinderace to display what it can do. I mean, we got Libero with Trailblaze and U-Turn to hit the water types, and then just to get out of places. Pyro Ball for Fire Stab in the Sun, or even just outright, it still does crazy amounts of damage. And then court change for the webs for our other users, and it's still got heavy duty boots, so it doesn't affect it. Now over to Tornadus. Okay, because I want to show this off now. Then we've got Tornadus, who's really bulky, can output damage, being disruptive and offensive, being able to mess up other people's sun, set up our own sun if we need it to some weeks, do damage with Bleak Wind Storm, and of course Tailwind to further our offenses. Or the speed, at least, for our offenses. So we're running pretty much as bulky as we can get while still using the nature for offense. And we could even run with a plus speed nature. King Gambit. This one's also a fun one because it is going to be really bulky. I EV'd it where this, with the Assault Vest boost, it will match this. So this ends up being a really, really bulky Pokemon, and especially if we do Supreme Overlord, if we have Defiant, it can just do a lot of damage, and there's nothing that some Pokemon can do about it. Now on to Ninetales, who is our main weather setter, and also can do a little bit of damage with Solar Beam. I could also run Fire Stab. I could run Choice Scarf or Choice Specs on it. Like I said, lots of tools that can be done, but this is like a general idea of what we can do. We can be disruptive with Will-O-Wisp, deal damage with a Weather Ball or other Fire Stab, Solar Beam to hit the water types, just all of that. And like we can run it semi-bulky with a lot of offense, no bulk and complete offense. Again, a lot of things can work. Now on to Slitherwing. I EV'd it where it ends in a 9, so that Life Orb only takes like 9% off instead of 10. Don't ask me how it works, it just does. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just doing the general idea. This 24 that's left, though, it is pretty weird. I guess I'll throw it in defense, I can throw it in speed. I don't know. But the idea is we end up hitting just really, really hard with Photosynthesis boosted First Impression. Some weeks we can bring it, some weeks we won't. We can go Terra Fire to resist our fire weakness and just kind of be neutral from everything else that hits us for really hard damage. And we've got Flame Charge to do a little bit of chip damage, but also set up our speed, with also giving us that stab with our Fire Terra type, and then our Fire Stab in First Impression, with Brick Break being our fighting stab. As well as it just helps if people bring screens, we can just break that off. Now on to Deoxys Speed, who will be our Rocks and Spike setter. Jeez. I promise I can speak. Where the idea is just to be really fast. Second fastest Pokemon in the format, by the way. So I think it's going to outspeed most Pokemon. I don't even have to run a plus speed nature. This thing is fast as all get out. And then we've got Psychic and then Extreme Speed. Psychic to do a crazy ton of damage, and then Extreme Speed just to try and chip it off. Then Executor is the catch-all Pokemon because I can run it with Trick Room, I can run it in Sun, I can run it in Sun again with Harvest. So it ends up like Trick Room with Harvest, outside of Trick Room with Chlorophyll. I can run Choice Specs, I can run Choice Scarf. It is able to do a lot of things. It's got a lot of tools at its disposal. Solar Beam and Psychic, probably going to be the main 2 moves on it. I didn't ever figure out another set of 2. Probably going to be something like, does it get Earth Power? I hope so. No, it doesn't. Oh, interesting. We want something to hit fire types, ideally. Let's see, does it get Hidden Power Water? Well, actually, anything can get any Hidden Power. Why wouldn't we run? Well, actually, Hidden Power Water makes no sense. Let's go Hidden Power Ground. And then I'm trying to figure out what other move could be run. Sludge Bomb, sure, why not? Of course, I could run a lot of things. It's got a crazy high special attack stat. Not great bulk, but it's serviceable. And then there's Electrode. Those of you who've seen the SDL Blue League know that I've been using this for a little bit, and I've come to really like using Electrode. It's kind of a one-trick pony, but what it does well, where it's just fast and hits hard with something like Electro Ball. It's not a Terra Captain with this league, so, I mean, we're running Hyper Beam, Discharge, Thunderbolt, Electro Ball. That's probably going to be the same set we use every time, though it'll come down to whether or not we use a plus speed or plus special attack nature. Depends on what our opponents might bring. Boltund, honestly, was kind of a steal for, what was it, 1 point? No. This one was a 3-pointer? Hold on, I don't remember. Actually, I've got the whole draft here. What am I saying? This was the 3-pointer, so it was even more than Electro. But even then, I think it was a little bit of a steal for a 3-pointer, because strong jaw and competitive when it has the same special attack and attack stats, so it can run both. We can run choice specs, choice band. Now you saw this idea earlier where the idea could have been running minus speed plus special attack with competitive. Yeah, going max speed, probably max HP, and then, okay, hold on. Oh, does it not auto just completely highlight? I thought it did. Never mind. Alright, competitive, something like Iron Ball, just to further slow it. And then run. Now this was something I ran into. There's not many special moves it gets. Is this one of our Terras? I think this was one of our Terra Caps. So we could run something like Terra Ice. Run something like Thunderbolt, Volt Switch. Where's Terra Blast? Do you not get Terra Blast? Because you're not in Gen 9. Oh, interesting. So Terra Ice or any Terra will only have to be defensive. So Terra Grass or Terra Bug make the most sense on you. Yeah, so we'll probably run Terra Bug just because. I mean, they have the same weaknesses. You just aren't weak to poison anymore instead. So I think that's fine. And then we can also run it in the electric terrain from Tapu Koko. And Hyper Voice, I think, was the other move I ran. Yeah. So we've got a couple tools, a couple ideas. So pretty cool. Let's go back over to our opponent's team and let's get to theoreticizing for our match. Words are not wanting to be nice to me apparently today. There we go. Alright, so this is the team we're facing. Pretty fast, but also sometimes not. I'm seeing kind of Trick Room spam-ish from Reuniclus, Screamtail, Serena, and Blastoise. And then Scizor, Bullet Punches, Swords Dance. So why you're on a fire team or sun team with whatever, you know, you do you, I guess. But a lot of things that can take advantage of that photosynthesis boost. So a lot to look out for. We're gonna need fairy types to beat those two. So Ribombee and Tapu Koko are absolutely getting brought this week. So we are going to Control C. Control V, save. Yeah, Tapu Koko actually kind of hard walls Raging Bolt. That's kind of cool. So glad I picked it up. And we'll work on refining what moves we use as well. We also want to go Slitherwing. Control C. because if we're going to go against a Sun team, might as well abuse their Sun, right? Then we'll bring, oh, it helps if I click save. There. I promise I know what I'm doing. I just don't seem like it. Control C. That way we can also set up our own Sun when we want it. Save. Alright, that leaves 2 slots left. We've got a little bit of offense, but it's all very frail. So, who's the next threats we want to take care of? Screamtail, Serena. Well, I know who I'm turning to. Petrarun. Okay, so Petrarun takes care of these two. We've got our 2 fairy types for these two with Tapu Koko hard walling Raging Bolt. And also both of them kind of hard walling Roaring Moon too. Because Roaring Moon's offensive typing doesn't really hit either of them well. Torkoal. Do we even have a water type to hard wall you? No, but we've got a fire type. This will be, I think, an offensive Cinderace this week to take advantage of theirs and just slow them down, and we'll worry about being fast on our side. Okay, so court change. It's going to be the least of our worries. And so instead, we're going to run, what do we want to run? Fireball, U-turn, Trailblaze. I like that. And we can run something like... Okay, wait. Actually, who do we need to hit with? That's what we need to figure out. We hit Serena. We can kind of hit Blastoise a little bit and also kind of neutralize him in the sun. We need to hit Scizor. That's going to be a big one. But we can hit him with the fire typing. So Valai is going to be a very, very interesting pick because there's not any one type it's guaranteed to bring, or to have, rather. So, and then Nihilego, it's rock poison, I think. It's quad weak to ground. Does any of our Pokemon get a ground type move? You get Earthquake. Yo, okay. There's our Nihilego answer, unless they have Air Balloon, in which case we break it. Rayonaclus gets absolutely beat up by first impression. So we're going to keep with that. Yeah. Alright, now we need to figure out what this other first move is going to be. I almost want to think Quick Attack just to, like, get a Pokemon that's already weakened. But, if we're going to run bulky-ish, we can also go Swords Dance. We can also go Wisp. Honestly, I don't mind Wisp. Because you only have one fire type. And then Serena, I think, is... no, Serena's immune to priority. We have no priority on Cinderace, our main attacker against it. Yeah, so I think this will be our team for week 1 of the SDL Premier Draft League. So with that, I will see y'all tomorrow for the match. But until then, peace.